Hello DV here, your humble GM and adventurer. We're going to be following Child Dog the Lightbearer once again on his adventures through the game of Ironsworn. Last episode we took a journey to try to make it to the location of this dark mystic who has been plaguing the havens and performing some sort of curse that was keeping our crops from coming to yield. And so we went on that journey, and we are now about to begin our delve. We are in an isolated battlefield that is right outside this pass into the mountains. And we need to do a little bit of prep work before we actually begin our journey in there. And I think the first thing we need to do is we're going to try to scrounge around in some of this battlefield here and see if we can find anything of use for us in our journey. So Dog is going to pick through the detritus left behind from these armies in this battle and say a few words for the fallen brethren. And we're going to make a resupply roll and see if we can find anything of note. We got a 4 versus a 6 and a 1. That's a weak hit. I can take up to 2 supply, but suffer 1 momentum for each. I think I will spend a little bit of extra time and take that 2 supply minus 1 momentum, and that will help us out. We search through and we find some supplies for making camp. We find some supplies for some provisions and some torches and things like that, and we pocket those things, and we take a little bit of extra time and we bury. We can't bury everyone, but we put some markers for some of these folks, and we kind of lay them out in a nice way. Cover them with stones when possible, so that the creatures can't get at them. And then we're going to proceed on our way into the delve. So how does the delve work? Well, we need to put in some denizens for our delve. Last time, these actually are. This is not bad. We have some zealots, we have some bone walkers, we have a wolf, we have a cave lion. I don't think I want that. What do we want for this? How about something like a husk? Where's the husk at? Yeah, we want like one of the husks. We want something to match the theme of where we're at here. So we're going to do a couple of husks, maybe do a warrior or 2. We'll take the wolves out. So we've got bone walkers, zealots. Maybe put a couple of bone walkers instead of the zealots, because this is a place of darkness here. So maybe the bone horde, perhaps. It's like a bunch of bones held together mystically. Okay, so we've got husk. I'll put these as warrior, not as husk here. There we go. So we got bone horde. We got some husks in there. I'm going to do another bone horde. And unforeseen, we'll do a gloom. Which I'm not even sure how you even fight that, but what is a gloom, you might be asking? A gloom is let's just take a look at some of these enemies. For example, the husk is a formidable foe. Zealot is troublesome. Warrior is dangerous. And then for the anomalies, the gloom is a dangerous foe, but it's a shadow. Like, how do you fight it? I don't know. Hopefully we won't have to. And then we also put in a few other things. We put in some bone hordes, which are extreme. Okay, so maybe we want to lessen that a little bit. Inflicts 4 harm. Wow. That's a frostbound. Okay, that's like the mummies. Oh, that might be good. Let's put a couple of those in there. They're formidable. An Iron Revenant. Let's take out the... let's go back to the delve. Let's take out the Bone Horde as rare. Yeah, we'll leave it as rare. And maybe we'll replace that with an Iron Revenant. Maybe that's going to be our big boy. We'll see. We'll replace this white with an Iron Revenant. He's not a fun thing to fight. Okay. So we got not a Bone Horde as an uncommon. No way, dude. We'll do 2 Mystics, 2 Warriors, 2 Bone Walkers, 2 Zealots. Alright, that sounds good. 2 Husks, a Bone Horde, and an Iron Revenant. If we get really, really unlucky. Alright, so we're going to be moving through an infested pass called the Dreaded Cut. And let's see what we need to do to get that started. I think there is a move for the delves. Let's go to the delve moves. And let's see how we begin that. What type of a place is it? It's dangerous? Did we mean to make it dangerous? I think so. It's just a pass where okay, so we won't have a lot of, yeah, it'll do 2 progress per delve. That's fine. It's a short journey. Okay. Very good. Now we are going to begin delving the depths. Here we go. We're going to traverse an area within the perilous site. Kind of like a journey. So let's go ahead and delve the depths. I don't think I get anything extra for my delving. So we're just going to start moving through this pass into the hills and see what we see in regard to that. So let's roll. Do we want to move in stealthily? Let's move in with our wits. I think moving in with our wits is the best course of action. So we rolled a 4 versus an 8 and a 3. Roll on the Delve the Depths table, mark progress, and reveal a danger. Okay. Reveal a danger. So first let's mark progress. And let's see what kind of a danger we get on our first. Here it is. Reveal a danger. You encounter a hostile denizen. Okay. Okay, so we have found our way into the beginning of the dangerous cut. And we need to roll to reveal a danger 74. 74, but before we... 74 is a warrior. Alright, so what are we coming up against here? What kind of... it's a gore. Okay, so we're passing through a part of this Dreaded Cut Pass, and we come across a gorge. And there, guarding this gorge, is a warrior. And so we could try to maybe sneak past him or something. Let's see if we can just... Is he immediately hostile against us? Let's see what we can find out about that. Oh, he's helpful. Interesting. Okay. That's unlikely, isn't it? Okay. Well, says he is. Maybe he's... Oh, well, maybe he's not a... maybe he's not from the dark side. Maybe he's a light side warrior. So we approach this this warrior. What does he look like? What's he doing? He's preserving. And he's agreeable. What's he trying to do here? He's seeking a truth. Oh. All right. Interesting. So he's here on a quest as well. And so Dog begins to speak with him about what's his intent here, and we kind of tell him about the troubles we've been having in the Havens with the crops, and he says he's too from another village in the Havens, and that they are having similar type problems, and so he was sent here as well, the same as we were, to try and resolve this quest. And so I'm going to see if he wants to maybe join us temporarily, and yeah, let's see if we can convince him to join us in our quest against the Mystics. So we rolled a 7 versus a 2 and a 3. They'll do what you want or share what they know. Take +1 momentum. If you use this in exchange to gather information, make that move now and add +1. So I'm going to go ahead and add +1. So we speak to him, and what's his name, by the way? What's his character's name? Emmeline. Okay, so it's not a he, it's a she. So Emmeline is, she's convinced that we can perhaps work together. And so she decides that we are going to move together further into this dreaded cut and see what we can find and help each other take on this dangerous mystic that's taken up residence here in this dangerous cut here. Dreaded cut, excuse me. All right, so that's good. All right, so we're going to continue to delve the depths here. We are going to continue moving forward with our wits. And we're going to roll. We got another weak hit. So we get to roll a 4 versus a 3 and a 4. That's a weak hit. Mark progress and reveal another danger. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and mark progress. That danger actually turned out to be not so bad. So we reveal a danger. Let's take a look and see what we need to do for that. Check the domain card. Avalanche or rock slide. Oh, okay. An avalanche or a rock slide. So we're moving up along the side of this pass here, and it's a very narrow, rocky path. And as we're moving along, we hear a rumbling above us, and some rocks begin to tumble down the cliffside, and we need to try to avoid that as best we can. We're going to face danger with edge. We're going to try to dodge out of the way and see if we can do so without getting smashed. So I'm going to roll. I got a 7 versus a 10 to 6. That's a weak hit. You succeed but face a troublesome cost. Choose one. You're delayed. You lose advantage. Face new danger. Suffer 1 momentum. You're tired or hurt. You endure harm. You're dispirited or afraid. Endure stress. Or you sacrifice resources. I think probably is more stressful than anything. As these rocks are falling, we are able to dodge out of the way. But it was pretty hard on us emotionally. And so I'm going to take 1 stress on that. Endure stress. And I'm going to go ahead and endure some stress to see if I can overcome that. And I'm going to use heart or spirit, whichever higher. My spirit is only 2. My heart is 2 as well, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to roll, oh geez, a 5 versus an 8 and a 6. That's a miss. I could burn momentum on this. Okay. Also suffer -1 momentum. You may mark shaken or corrupted if I'm at 0 spirit. I'm not at 0 spirit, but I do lose 1 momentum. And I get to mark learn from my failures. So that's something, I guess. All right. So we mostly make it through the rock slide okay, but definitely could have been better because now we're shaking quite a bit here. And now it is time to continue on our journey through the dreaded cut. All right, here we go. Another delve. We're going to delve the depths. We're going to go with wits. We got another weak hit. 7 versus 8 and 5. Mark progress and reveal another danger. Okay. So we're going to mark another progress. We're pressing further into this pass. We're going to reveal another danger. You face an environmental or architectural hazard. Oh, okay. So we're moving up this, and there is a bit of a place in the path where a large boulder from the rock slide has fallen, and it is now blocking the path, and we need to figure out a way to get past this stone. And so I think I'm going to face danger again. And this time, I think we'll do something with heart or iron. Yeah, let's do iron because we're going to be trying to push this boulder out of the way. I'm going to take a +1 because I'm getting the help of Evelyn or Emmeline. Excuse me, it's Emmeline. We're going to be getting the help of Emmeline. And I better write her name down or I'll never remember that. So let's go pink. All right, take this out. Emlyn helps to move boulder. Oh wait, I haven't done it yet. I'll do that here in just a second here. So we're gonna roll with +1 from Emlyn. We got a 6 versus a 2 and a 10. That's another weak hit. All right. So as we're moving this boulder, it takes us a long time. So I'm gonna lose 1 momentum from that to be able to lever this boulder in such a way that it tumbles on down the path and into the gorge below. So it took us longer than it should have, and so we lost some momentum on that. All right, so we're going to continue to delve the depths. We're going to go with wits. Oh no, a 5 versus a 6 and a 5. That's a miss. Reveal a danger. Do not increase our progress. Let's see what danger we get now. Reveal a danger. You encounter another hostile denizen. Well, isn't that nice? All right, so let's roll on the delve thing here. What is the hostile denizen we get? An 8, a zealot. So we come around the corner, and what kind of a place is this? Blocked. Blocked information. So we come around the corner of this small trail, and there is a zealot there, and he sees us, and he tells us to turn around. This is the place of darkness. The children of light are not welcome here. And I think Emlyn she's all too eager to go ahead and begin this battle. So we're going to go ahead and do so. And we are going to create a track where we are facing a foe. He is troublesome, thankfully. So zealots aren't that tough. So the zealot, I believe, is let's just double check. I think zealot is just a troublesome foe. Yeah, he's troublesome foe. 1 harm per hit, so that's fine. Okay, let's do this. So we could try to convince him to surrender, but I don't think Evelyn is going to want to do that. I think she wants to smash this guy. So we're going to go ahead and enter the fray. And we're going to use facing off against our foe. We do have Emlyn here. I'm saying Evelyn. We have Emlyn here. She's with us, and so we're going to get a +1 to enter the fray. But we got a 5 versus a 9 and a 7, which is a miss. Combat begins with you at a disadvantage. Pay the price. Your foe has the initiative. Wow. Okay. Interesting. So how does that work? It's 2 against 1. Well, obviously something has happened. It causes a delay or puts you at a disadvantage is the pay the price. Okay. So I think the price that we pay is that Emlyn goes running up and she is blocking me from doing any of the combat. She's running up. She is laying into this fellow, and I can't really do anything as far as getting in a hit there. And so we're going to have to clash to see if oh boy can get a hit in. I'm going to put myself at -1 instead of a +1. Or actually, I get a +1 from my staff, so I'm going to just put myself back down to 0 because Emlyn this is a crowded area and it's hard to not hurt each other as we were fighting this zealot. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to clash. We inflict harm, but pay the price. Your foe has the initiative. All right. So we're trying to fight this guy, and he is doing well. We do a little bit of harm as we're trading blows with him, but we are not able to gain the initiative. And we also have to pay the price, and the price we pay is a surprising development complicates your quest. Well, obviously, you know what that means. Another zealot comes up from behind us. He was in hiding, and now we're surrounded by these guys. And so we're going to allow Emlyn to fight her zealot, and I will fight my zealot, and then we'll go from there. Let's see what this second zealot does here. He feints and strikes. Okay, so I'm going to have to clash once again. to try to block his blow. I'm going to use edge. I do get my +1 from my long arm. That's actually a good thing that we're separated up a little bit. And I got a 7 versus a 2 and an 8. That's a weak hit. I do inflict harm, but I have to pay the price. And the Zealot has the initiative. So he does get, I'm going to say my pay the price that I'm going to do is I'm going to take harm. I think that he got a jump on me. I didn't expect him to be behind me. And so he inflicts -1 harm. And I'm going to endure harm here. And I'm going to roll for that. We got a 4 versus a 1 and a 5. Weak hits all over the place here. We press on. All right. So he has the advantage here. And I'm going to maybe try to use a move to secure an advantage to see if I can get the upper hand on this. I'm going to use edge to try to secure an advantage. I'm going to get +1 from my asset, I think, on long arm. Let's see, long arm. When you secure an advantage with edge, using your staff to disarm, trip, or shove, or stun your foe, add +1 and take +1 momentum on a hit. Yes. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to use my staff and knock him off the edge of this gorge using the old long arm ability. So I rolled an 8 versus a 6 and a 2. That is a strong hit. Finally, I gain advantage. I take initiative. I get to choose one, take control, and make another move now when you add +1. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So I'm trying to lever him. He's now teetering on the edge of this gorge. And I get to add +1 on my strike, which is what I'm going to do. And I get +1 from my long arm as well. So that's a +2, which is excellent. Now I got a 7 versus a 5 and a 3. That's a strong hit. Inflict a harm. I retain the initiative. I get a +1 momentum from my long arm ability. And he is now falling off of the edge of the gorge. Meanwhile, Emmeline also, how's she doing? Let's ask the Oracle. Emmeline, how are you doing? I think likely you're doing well. No. Emmeline is hurt. She's down. We rush forward and try to stop this guy as he is trying to do a finishing blow on Emmeline. What is he doing? A 3 versus, let's see, a 3, 100. Oh my gosh. Takes a completely unexpected action. He kicks Emmeline and she falls off the edge of this cliff to her demise. I'm enraged and I move forward to begin my attack. I'm going to take +1. I'm going to roll to strike him. I rolled a 10 versus a 3 and a 2. That's a strong hit. Inflict 1 harm, take 1 momentum, and I retain the initiative. He is now finished. He's stumbling on the ground. I'm going to finish him, and I'm going to end the fight with the Zealot. No +1 there. I got a 10 versus an 8 and a 7. That's a strong hit. Foe is no longer in the fight. They're killed or out of action. And he is put down for sure. I think that I spend a few moments saying a few words to the Lord of the Light to protect Emmeline's soul as she has fallen to her death from this Zealot. And that is too bad. All right. Zealot is gone. Okay. Let's continue to delve alone now. Yeah, let's continue the delve alone. Let's delve the depths. Here we go. We're going to use wits. Can keep delving. A 4 versus a 10 and a 9. Jeez, that's another miss. Reveal another danger. Jeez. We are not rolling well today. Not rolling well. Reveal a danger. Roll twice more on this table. Both results occur. If they're the same result, make it worse. God dang you. Alright, roll twice. Here we go. I got the same thing again. Roll twice again. A resource is diminished, broken, or lost, and foul weather. Oh, man. So I'm going to say, as we're pushing further up this cut, a squall moves in. A little bit of a sudden storm begins, and we are plastered against this cliff face with really nowhere to take cover, and a lot of our supplies are ruined by this foul weather, and we also lose a little bit of time. Let's see, can we find a place to make a little bit of a camp here? I don't think you're supposed to make camps in Delves, actually. Yeah, I think that's one of the things, is you're not really supposed to do that. So let's just continue onward then. Let's continue onward and see if we can get through this place. It's so far not been great. Let's delve the depths once again. We're losing time. We're going to use edge instead. We're going to push forward quicker. We're going to move quickly. I'm going to roll a 7 versus an 8 and a 6. That's a weak hit. Choose one, mark progress, or find an opportunity. Oh. I think I'll find an opportunity. When you encounter a helpful situation or feature within a site, roll on Find an Opportunity. If you're making this move as a result of a strong hit on Delve the Depths, you may pick or envision an opportunity instead of rolling. Okay, I think it was a weak hit, so. Then choose one. Alright, so let's go ahead and roll the Find an Opportunity. There we go. The terrain favors you, or you find a hidden path. Oh, okay. So I'm going to say we find this shortcut in the gorge that allows us to move further into our journey. And we finally make it to a little bit of a shrine here in the cliff face. And let's go ahead and discover a site here. Not discover a site, excuse me. Let's do one more thing to do this delve here. Are we ready to locate my objective? We only got 8 boxes filled. I'm gonna go for it. I think we have found our location. Let's delve the depths one more time. I'm gonna use edge once more. We're gonna rush forward, see if this shrine holds what we think it does. Delve deeper, mark progress, and find another opportunity. Okay, it did indeed hold what we needed. Let's find an opportunity. Locate an interesting or helpful object. Oh, what is it? An expansive entry. Perfect. That's exactly what we were hoping. Okay. So we find the entry to this shrine, and we are going to go ahead and locate my objective and do that with the dreaded cut. I'm going to roll. Got a 10 versus a 2 and an 8. Locate your objective and the situation favors you. Choose one, make another move now, not a progress move, and add +1 or take +1 momentum. I think I'm going to take +1 momentum. So I'm going to go ahead and sneak into the entryway of this shrine, and we are going to try to face danger and use shadow to sneak into this place and see what we can find inside of here. Ooh, not good. A 4 versus a 7 and a 9. You fail or your progress is undermined by a dramatic and costly turn of events. Pay the price or the Trouble Oracle. So I think pay the price says we are put in harm's way, or you are an ally is put in harm's way, or you are if you're alone, and we are alone. And so I think we're trying to sneak in to this place, and we come up against the leader of the pack, the thing that has been driving this whole thing, the Iron Revenant. An unfinished vow of an Ironsworn given horrible form as a construct of metal. Attacks may slow them down or temporarily break apart their armored form, but they have no flesh to pierce and cannot be killed. It won't stop until their vow is fulfilled. Interesting. Oh, how am I going to kill this thing then? Indeed. We're going to have to use the Lord of the Light's power to bring him down. He inflicts 4 harm every hit. Holy smokes. I don't think we're ready for this. It doesn't matter. He has found us. He steps out from behind us as we're trying to sneak in, and he says,
"Intruder, you have done poorly in coming here to face me. Suffer now my wrath."
And without even taking a moment hesitation, what does he do? He is going to do 96. Yeah, it starts attacking in a wild frenzy. Okay, so I guess we're entering the fray now. Against a foe strongly more able than we are. And we are going to roll Heart. We're facing off against him. And what do we get? Oof, a 5 versus a 10 and a 5. No. A miss. We're at a disadvantage. Pay the price. Your foe has the initiative. No, that's not good. Not good. What is the price that we pay? The person you care about is exposed to danger. Okay. So, this Iron Revenant has sent his mystics and zealots to attack Mal. Alright. But I don't know that. All I know is he is rushing towards me in a wild frenzy of swings, and I'm going to have to try to clash and use my +1 long arm ability to fend off his wild attacks. Can I use anything with the Light Bearer or Invoke? Let's see. Invoke. May compel through a show of power. When you perform this ritual, add +1, take 1 essence on a hit. Okay. I can secure an advantage or face danger plus essence. If you do, add the value of your action die to your essence track. Right. When you may then secure an advantage or face danger plus essence to create minor mystical effects or illusions. Okay, so I've got a +3 here. I guess I can use a +3 on, instead of doing a clash, I could do face danger against this guy. And as or I could use secure an advantage even. Forceful defense, roll iron. I think I'm going to use speed and agility to try to get out of the way of these forceful attacks. And I get to add my essence, which is a 3. And I get to use my long arm, which is a +4. So we're going to use our staff to try to waylay this guy as he's coming forward with these crazy attacks. And I think I'm going to get... Hold on, secure an advantage. We don't get a +1 for that, do we? We get a +1 afterwards. Let's see. When you secure an advantage using your staff to disarm, trip, shove, or stun your foe, add +1. Yeah, you do get +1. Okay, so we're going to get a lot of bonuses here. +1 from our long arm ability, +3 from our essence. We're going to roll to see if we can waylay his attacks. We got a 7 versus a 3 and a 4. Wow. Mostly because of all of our bonuses. But we succeed. Take +1 momentum, +1 from our essence, +1 from our long arm. So that puts us up to a 10. Now we have the initiative as well. Because you get to take the initiative anytime you get a strong hit in combat. We do take 1 off of our essence track. So we used up a little bit of our essence. And now I'm going to use a little bit of my Light Bearer When you focus on a source of light, blah, blah, blah. Okay. You may use your light to strike or clash against a dark-dwelling foe. I think an Iron Revenant counts as that. Choose the amount of light to unleash and roll plus light instead of plus iron or edge. Oh. Suffer light equal to that amount. On a hit, your harm is 1 plus your unleashed light. Okay, I'm just going to use all of it at once. I'm going to use all 6. So I'm going to do plus 6. And we're going to do a strike here. It says not to use edge or iron, but that's not an option with this. So if I normally would add plus 6 from my light bearer, I'm just going to add plus 2 because it won't let me take the edge off. So I'm going to add plus 2 there. But we are going to get actually another plus 1 because I am using my staff imbued with the light. And so I'm going to imbue my staff with light as this guy is pressing the attack towards me. And I'm going to lash out with my staff glowing with the light of 1,000 suns. And we are going to roll to attack this beast. Actually, I need to add a track for him. Now we are going to use our light. And we're going to roll it. We're doing it. We're using all the light in this one hit. Rolled a 12 versus a 7 and a 4. That is a strong hit. Inflict 1 harm, and we retain the initiative. So we get 1 harm, yay! But we also see that we got something else, right? With the light bearer, it does something else. 1 plus your unleashed light on a hit. Your harm is 1 plus your unleashed light. So I unleashed all 6 light. And so it's going to be 7 harm. All right. Wow, we did a good job there. And so yeah, we strike this beast, this thing of darkness, with our light infused staff, and he lets out this bellow. And you can see the light like shining through the gaps in his armor as we strike, and it really deadens some of the darkness that was inside of him. Unfortunately, now we don't have any more light to use in our abilities, so we're just going to go straight on and see if we can continue to. We still have the power of the Lord of the Light, we just can't infuse it with power, so I feel like our staff will still be effective against this beast because it's blessed by the Lord of the Light. And so we're going to go ahead and attack once again with our staff. Oh no, we rolled a 7 versus an 8 and a 7. It's a miss, but I'm going to burn my momentum, and that makes it a strong hit. So we get to inflict harm, and oh my god, this is not going to be good. We inflict harm, we retain initiative, we get to go down to 2, but we get +1 from our staff, from our long arm ability, and now we're going to strike once again. We're going to keep up with initiative, we're going to continue to pound away against him, but no, we don't. A 7 versus a 9 and a 9, a miss with a negative twist. Your attack fails and you must pay the price. The enemy has initiative. What does he do to stop us when we're attacking? 229. He shifts focus to someone or something else. Oh no. Oh no. We swing our staff at him and he grabs it in his hand. And he throws it away from us. And so now we are completely disarmed. And I'm going to take 1 supply. Well, no, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, that's fine. He takes our staff, he throws it away. Now we are unarmed and we no longer have the initiative. We are on the defensive. I think I'm going to do a face danger, and I'm going to try to run over and pick up my staff using quickness of foot. So I'm going to roll Face danger. You succeed, but face a troublesome cost. Choose one. You're delayed, lose advantage. Face a new danger, suffer 1 momentum. You're tired or hurt, endure harm. Or you're dispirited or afraid, endure stress. Or you sacrifice resources, -1 supply. I think that we try to rush over and grab our staff, and he swings out with his sword, and it kind of clips us a little bit, and we endure 1 harm from that. But we are able to retrieve our staff. And unfortunately, we do have to endure harm now to see what we suffer as far as that goes. Iron or health. Our health is 2. Our iron is 3, so we'll do iron. We rolled a 4 versus a 6 and a 10. That's a miss. We also suffer 1 momentum. Oh my god. Oh, down to 2 momentum. So, yeah. It's not looking too good for us. He is slowing us down. He's wearing us down as he attacks. We're still on the defensive. He moves. What is his next move that he's going to do? 60. He is going to use the terrain to his advantage. So he steps up onto this dais that fills this shrine, and he runs across and he does a leaping attack with his weapon. And we're going to try to jump out of the way at the last minute. There's no way we can block this. We're going to try to face danger and roll out of the way of his attack. We rolled a 6 versus a 7 and a 4. We succeed, but face a troublesome cost. Choose one. Delayed, lose advantage. Face a new danger, suffer 1 momentum. Oh my god. This is not good. We're going to suffer a momentum. We're able to dodge out of the way, but we're prone. We're rolling across the ground as he continues to press the attack. What does he do next? He is being very aggressive, and he rushes forward with his sword, trying to kick us and slash at us as we roll further and further away from him. We're going to try to face danger still to try to get to our feet. A 7 versus a 3 and an 8. Another weak hit. We do get up to our feet, but he kicks us and we take 1 harm as we're getting up to our feet to face him. Things are not looking great for us. Dog is in a bad way. I think perhaps Dog needs to retreat. Maybe we should just go ahead and try to leave. I think we'll try one last thing. We're going to try to secure an advantage and get up on that dais to see if we can get the upper hand using our staff. We do! We get a 7 versus a 5 and a 2. That's a strong hit. We can choose one, take control, which I think we need to take control. And we also get to add 1 to our next move. We get +1 from our secured advantage with our long arm. And we are going to lash out against him once again with +1 from our move and from our long arm. A 10 versus an 8 and 2. It's a strong hit. Inflict 1 harm. We retain initiative. We gain 1 momentum. We're not out of the fight just yet, but it is a terrible, terrible fight. What does he do in response to that? 5:18. He gives an evil monologue. Alright, what's the monologue about? What's the monologue about? Let's see. Let's see, what is aspect? Collapsed darkness. Okay, so he starts talking about how
The Lord of the Dark is coming, and that he will suffuse all in shadow, and that no one can stand against his might.
and while he's just sitting there going on and on and on about it, I am going to, while he's doing his, oh my gosh, I've got an idea. While he's doing his monologue, I'm going to focus on a torch that's burning, and I am going to try to capture its light, and I'm going to add +1 and take 1 momentum on a hit. So I'm going to focus on the light. I'm going to add my wits, and I'm going to see if I can grab the essence of the light. I need you, Lord of the Light. I need you now. 9 versus a 10 and a 2. It's a weak hit. Set your light track to +3. And when you make a move to overcome or navigate darkness, you may add +2 and suffer -1 light. Alright, so we get +1 momentum on a hit, which we did. And we get to add 3 to our light. And then we can use that light in our next attack, which is going to be now we're going to suffuse our staff with light once again. We're going to use all 3 light with our strike, so that means that's a 4. So really this is going to be 0 because we're adding just 4 to it because I can't add edge. I can only use my light. So we're gonna do it. We got a 7 versus a 2 and a 7. Inflict your harm and lose initiative though. Alright, so we inflicted our harm. We do get a +1 from our strike. We inflict our harm, which would be 3 harm from our light infused. Oops, 12. There we go. Oh my gosh, this guy is tough. We suffuse our staff with light. We strike out, and his helmet rings with the blow. And once again, he howls in pain and fury as we strike him once again. And he is going to now take the initiative, though. What is he doing? He is going to seize something or someone. So he reaches out with his iron gauntleted fist, and he grabs me by the throat, and he throws me to the ground beside him. So we're going to clash. Well, we'll see what he does. He might not be able to do that because I may stop him. That's right. I'm going to stop him using edge, and I'm going to use my staff to lever against him to stop him from throwing me to the ground. Oh, I do! I get a 10 versus a 5 and a 1. That's a strong hit. We gain the initiative and bolster our position, or I can inflict harm. I'm going to take the harm. I'm going to take the initiative, take +1 momentum from my long arm, and I'm going to inflict 1 more harm because I need all of the harm I can get against this guy. Alright. While we have the initiative, I'm going to strike 1 more time to see if we can finish this guy off. We get a 7 versus an 8 and a 1. It's a weak hit. We inflict our harm, but we lose the initiative. We're getting him up there though. He's got 7 tracks finished. And we lose the initiative, so we strike out, but he pushes us back, and now he comes forward with another attack. And what does he do? He is doing 5-17. He takes a calculated risk. So instead of doing a straight on attack, he runs forward and slides on the ground, swiping his sword up as he does so in an epic looking attack. And I'm gonna see if I can parry the blow aside with my long arm. I get an 8 versus a 6 and a 7. That's a strong hit. I bolster my position and take... No, I'm gonna take 1 from long arm. I'm gonna gain the initiative, and I'm gonna do 1 harm instead of taking that extra momentum. Oh my gosh, we might actually pull this off. This is crazy. I'm gonna strike 1 more time as he slides by. I spin my staff, and I bring it back to bear. I roll, and I got a 9 versus an 8 and a 10. That's a weak hit. Inflict a harm, lose initiative, gain 1 momentum. Oh my gosh. He now has the initiative, however, we are on the defensive. And what is he going to do? The Iron Revenant is going to do a 435, which means he is going to give us a choice of who or what to save. Huh. I don't think that actually makes sense because we're here by ourselves. So instead we're going to do take a decisive action. So he's going to move forward and attack us 1 more time. I think I'm going to go ahead and clash. It's my best bet to use my staff to parry. No. 8 versus a 9 and 10 is a miss. You're outmatched and they must pay the price. Oh, what am I doing? I'm learning from my failures. Okay. I think the most likely thing to happen is that he hits me and takes me down to 0 health. Let's let the Oracle decide What is it? What's to pay the price? It forces you to act against your best intentions. What does that mean? I guess it means I have to try to run. Instead of doing that, I'm just going to let him hit me. It's going to hurt. In fact, I don't even know how this is going to work. He's going to take me down to... He inflicts 4 harm, so that takes me down to 0 health with 3 additional, so we're going to take that off our momentum. Takes me down to 5 momentum. And now we're going to have to try to endure harm and see what happens. This could be the end of it. This could be the end of Doug. This could be the end of Dog. Oh no. I'm gonna endure harm iron, which is higher than health because my health is at 0. Oh no! A 6 versus a 10 and a 9. A miss. I will learn from my failures one last time, perhaps. It's my last learning from failures. Suffer 1 momentum. If you're at 0 health, you must now mark wounded or maimed if currently unmarked, or roll on the endure harm oracle table. All right, let's take a look at the endure harm oracle table right quick. So the endure harm oracle table has what? The harm is mortal, face death. You're dying. You need to heal within an hour or 2 or face death. You're unconscious and out of action. If left alone, you come back to your senses in an hour or 2. You are reeling and fighting to stay conscious. If you engage in any vigorous activity such as running or fighting before taking a breather for a few minutes, roll on this table again. Or you're battered but still standing. Now, we have a 49% chance of getting this. Or if I take wounded, then we're going to be in a bad way. Okay, so I think I'm going to go ahead and take the wounded. Because I don't want to die. Let's see what the condition wounded does. Wounded may be marked when you're at 0 health and you fail to endure harm, which is what happened. You're severely injured and need treatment to recover. Conditions impact your max momentum, so we have to... Our reset for our momentum is now a 1 instead of a 2. So... we'll have to keep that in mind. I don't know if there's a way to change that here. If I put mark wounded, does it? No, it does it automatically. Okay. And we can only get up to 9 momentum instead of 10. Okay, so we're now wounded. We cannot... If we're wounded, we cannot increase our health. We have to do something to clear that wounded ability. Alright. Like sojourn. Okay. Alright, wow. Yeah, so he brings his sword down, and it cuts deeply into us, and we are now severely wounded. I'm going to make a last-ditch effort now to turn the tide. We're going to risk it all. Steal the initiative from your foe to make a move, not a progress move. When you have chosen your next move, add +1 and take +1 momentum on a hit. If you fail to score a hit on that move, you must suffer a dire outcome. Pay the price. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn the tide. Yeah, we're going to do a strike with +1, and we get to take +1 momentum on a strong or weak hit. I also get to add my +1 from my staff, so that's +2. We're turning the tide on one last-ditch effort to strike this guy. We got a weak hit. We inflict our harm, but we do lose initiative. But we do get +2 momentum from one from our staff, one from turn the tide. And we do inflict 1 harm here. And I think I'm going to try to end the fight. Oh, I can't because I don't have the initiative. When you make a move to take decisive action and you store a strong hit, you may resolve the outcome. I didn't. I strung a weak hit. Dang. Okay, well I can only turn the tide once. So now we're back on the defensive. He's going to try to make his move. What does he do? 473. He tries to secure an advantage. Alright, so he... What is this? Oh, that's my progress. 8.5. Hilarious. Okay, so he sees that I'm wounded and staggered, and I lash out and I knock him back, and he kind of starts to circle around me, and then he finally makes his move to attack. And can I use my... I forgot about my essence here. Can I use an invoke to help myself here? You may use secure an advantage or face danger plus essence to create illusion. If you do, suffer -1 essence and take +1 momentum on a hit. If I get a weak hit, I have to endure stress afterwards. 2 stress at that. I'm gonna do it. I don't think I have a choice. So he's trying to secure an advantage. I'm gonna try to secure an advantage as well. Using my staff, I'm gonna create a blur of movement, and I'm gonna add some of my essence to that and see if I can... Do I get to add 2 essence? Or how much essence do I owe? Add plus essence to create a minor mystical illusion. Okay. I'm going to add +3 then, because I'm using my staff and I'm using an illusion to create this blur that he won't be able to see through. And so I'm going to do that and roll. I got a strong hit. That's 11 or 10 versus a 9 and an 8. I take advantage. I decrease my essence to 1. I get to choose 1. I get to prepare to act and take +2 momentum. That's what I'm going to do, because I'm going to need that, because I'm about to... No, I can't use momentum in the fight. So he strikes out, but my blur that I've created and this illusion, he just slashes at empty air. And I'm going to go ahead and take that +2 momentum. Yes, I am. Because I'm going to do one last strike against him with my staff, with my +1. And I'm going to, yes, with my +1 using edge. And I'm going to do a hit. Come on. No! 10 versus a 7 and a 10, a weak hit. I inflict my harm, but I lose the initiative. That means I can't do an in the fight without the initiative. Alright, so now I'm on the defensive. I strike him and I do a little bit of harm, but he's not waylaid at all. He decides he is going to try to lash out at me one more time, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to secure an advantage with my essence, which is a +1. +1 for my staff. That's a +2. I'm going to create another illusion to keep him from hitting me. I got a 10 versus a 5 and a 5, a strong with a positive twist. I take the initiative. He rushes forward, and I create this illusion, and I'm able to strike out and trip him, and I'm going to do 1 harm from that, even though you don't normally do harm from securing an advantage. But he stumbles and falls, and he is now on the ground, and I have the initiative. I call upon the Lord of the Light, and I'm going to try to end this fight with the Revenant. I don't get to add anything to this. We're just going to roll a 9.5 versus a 9 and a 9. It technically is strong with a positive twist. Is that really how it's supposed to work? I don't know, but I'm taking it. My God, I use my staff and I crush his helmet as he's laying on the ground. And when I do that, the Lord of the Light blesses me one last time. And all of the mystical energy that was holding this Iron Revenant together dissipates into the air. And that iron just collapses into a pile of rust. Dog is severely wounded, and he stumbles to the ground, barely holding himself on a knee with his staff as he stands above this Iron Revenant's rust. And he looks up at the torch, and he sees the light, and he has a little bit of hope. That's going to be it for this episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. We have defeated the Revenant and saved the Havens. So now they will be able to have a harvest. And we do know that, I better take note, that the Iron Revenant sent assassins after mail. I'll have to remember that, because that did happen as one of the pay the prices. And so who knows if Mel is going to survive that or not. But we defeated the Iron Revenant, an extreme foe. We are wounded, however, and we are in a bad way. We're still in this evil temple, so we're not out of the woods at all. And we are going to have to make it back to either Valemark or Axcrag. I think Axcrag's closer, so we'll probably go there. And try to soldier in there if possible. But wow, what an episode. I hope you enjoyed that. I surely did. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.